Hello, I finally got Born Yesterday. It's back. They haven't brewed it since 2020. Lagunitas' wet hop beer. They say it says fresh hop here, but sometimes when brewers say fresh hop, it just means it's the most freshly dried pellets of that season. So, like Sierra Nevada's Celebration that'll come out soon. That's fresh hop because it's using this year's hops, but they're not wet hops that are undried, and that's what Born Yesterday is. That's a confusion because the terms are kind of interchangeable. So this one, yeah, they say how it's wet hops, shipped less than 24 hours from picking before they go bad and put in the beer. And this was bottled on October 2nd at 8:54 a.m. and it is now the 27th. So it's about 3.5 weeks old. It's probably 8:54 p.m. So 3.5 weeks old and 12 hours old. It's 7.2% alcohol, like it has been before. Yeah, like last year or maybe was it just the last 2 years, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know. They did something called Contents Under Fresher as their wet hop beer. It was stronger. It was in 4-packs. This one, 6-packs, same price as it was 3 to 5 years ago. Yeah, the Contents Under Fresher was not good. So I have high hopes for this one. We'll see. At least a nationally distributed wet hop beer they actually ship rather fresh is pretty cool. And that it's not super expensive. And this has always by far been the best Lagunitas IPA. And one of the haziest ones. Like, look at that. It doesn't look like a real New England IPA, but much hazier than Lagunitas IPA. And paler. There you go. And it doesn't say it on the bottle, but on the box here, it says Simcoe Citra Mosaic HBC 586. I don't know why it's on the box here and not the bottle. Lagunitas is making lots of weird decisions because they haven't been independent for a while. Yeah, they often used to use Equinaut in it, but it seems like they always use Simcoe Citra Mosaic. And the head's still sticking around okay. Bubbles aren't popping too fast. And that smells really good. Yep, that brings me back. It's got a little bit of that pure perfumey chlorophyll thing that I got from wet hop beers. And there's a teeny bit of sediment on the bottom there. Make sure we get all that stuff. But then it smells very tropical, very sweet, and like real fresh pineapple and peaches. Just very tropical and juicy. Really nice. And sweet orange, clementine, orange zest. I mean, it smells like a New England IPA, honestly. Maybe there's just a hint of that mass-produced sort of generic dankness that I notice in Lagunitas beers. But for $12 a 6-pack, I can already smell and tell that it's going to be good and worth it. And they do call it a pale ale. I guess it just says fresh hop ale, but it's usually advertised as a pale ale. And since they have to brew this pretty different from pale ales and IPAs, because since the hops are wet, there's so much water in there, so they have to use a huge amount. And I think it's kind of difficult to figure out exactly how to do it efficiently and get the beer you want to taste, but this really reminds me of years past. Born Yesterday. Even though over the past few years I've been trying some regular Lagunitas IPAs and been pretty disappointed by them, especially their non-alcoholic IPA. That's one of the worst ones. Yeah, it would have been nice to get this a little fresher, but it's still very, very good. It's sweet. It's got not too much bitterness, but a little bit of a drying quality to it. It doesn't have any, like it's not an explosion of hop oils and drying out your tongue that much. It'll come as I drink it. And there's a little bit of this earthy, dirty sort of thing that I got from some mass-produced IPAs when they get a little older. This one's obviously not old, but I think that just since the wet hops were used, it just degrades a lot faster. But I would choose this over almost any hazy IPA at the store. You know, it's $15 or under. Very few of them are up to this quality. And since this comes out only once a year, you know when it's going to be fresh. And they don't make the dating that hard to understand. On the second row of like numbers and letters here, it just says 10/02/23. Obviously, October 2nd. Because of that kind of earthy, dirty quality, I'm not going to give this super high rating, but it's definitely a 4.25. And really great that I can get a wet hop beer. I've only had one wet hop beer so far this year from Tilted Barn. I don't know if I uploaded that one. But that one is good. Very different from their other beers. So look for this one, and it's likely sitting on shelves at your local big box retailer for $12. But yeah, it just sucks that I guess I had to get it across the country. I assume they didn't make this in Chicago. Yeah, Petaluma. But the guy at the store said this arrived literally today, so that took 3.5 weeks just to get here. Mike, I talk more about the fruitiness here. It's got this honey floral thing too, and the sweetness. Kind of gets more into spicy honey, herbal dank stuff as you drink it. Gets a little sticky, icky, actually. But there's still some nice, sweet, bright, fresh, juicy stuff. I love how it's bright. That's what's really nice. But that's probably already fading. So maybe like a 4.3. Bye.